we're here at the property. Candice is here from Greening Australia. They've planted, it'd be 30,000 trees in total. I guess the first time was 2022.
Yep.
There were about 20,000 trees planted, and these weren't here back then. So there was literally grass here. So and then after that, in 2024, there was another 9,000 trees planted approximately.
Approximately, yeah.
And yeah, to start with, I guess the first question is, tell me about Greening Australia.
Yep, I can do that. So Greening Australia is a not-for-profit environmental organisation. So yeah, we obviously, as the name suggests, we work Australia-wide, and we've got numerous locations where we do the work that we do here. We essentially go out and meet landholders and help them achieve environmental outcomes on their property, but we also do other things than tree planting. We do lots of habitat restoration work with wetlands and threatened species and lots of other exciting work.
And what, I guess, the first tranching, which was around 2022, which was along the river here, so there's about 2 kilometres plus of river along the boundary here. What sort of brought you here and why?
I think we were sort of working in the area and my wonderful contractor had mentioned some properties here that we're looking at doing some revegetation work along the Johanna River, and they'd also received some funding through the Koorrayn catchment to help with the willows. So we just sort of thought it'd be great to partner together and try and get as much done as we can. It's also a beautiful area, but yeah, it was definitely in need of some trees.
Yeah, and as you can see, these weren't here. So some of these are 2 metres, some of them are even larger.
Yeah.
Along here, we're sort of buffeting ourselves out of the wind here today to keep out of the wind, I guess, so we can be heard. What sort of trees are planted here, and what makes you decide what trees you plant here as well?
So we generally have a look around the area. So we'll have a bit of see if there's anything existing. We'll go and have a bit of a look. But we also do a lot of background research, desktop stuff, looking at mapping and ecological vegetation classes. So
EVCs. I'm learning slowly.
Things that give us a bit of a guidance to what may have been here. But also chatting with the local landholders, and we've got wonderful, really local nurseries too that provide all the tube stock, so we're able to ask them for advice as well. So we kind of get the best, but also depends on your topography as well. So as we're on a bit of a river system, this will gently sort of change as you get up onto the dunes and the sand as you head into Johanna Beach.
And that's what, 150 metres away from here. And I've noticed as well, I'm not in any way green thumb, but I've got inspired by seeing this stuff growing here. And then I've also noticed there's a difference along the river here, and then 150 metres, I guess, north on our property itself. It's a completely different sort of ecosystem there because there are gullies and different trees in there. So along the river moving to the back, does that change as well?
Yeah, a little bit. We sort of kept the same plantings along the river, and then we changed our vegetation plan a little bit as we worked up into the hills. So you've got the water running off, and maybe there's some drier spots or the aspects, so maybe there's some wetter areas. So we definitely look at the species that prefer either wetter or drier. But also we were dealing with some landslips, so we're trying to get the soil to hold together and stop those and halt that soil movement down into the river.
That was the second lot of planting around 2024.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, we've sort of tried to start planting the landslip areas, and we're going to continue that along the river. That was a different grant and different funding?
Yeah, that's right.
Came through?
Yeah. So we tend to kind of look out for different opportunities. So all along the river, the fencing and all the trees were Portland House, and then as we moved up into the hills and the slopes, we did a little bit with Officeworks and a little bit with IGA funding, just to try and get as many trees in the ground and on the property to help out.
How do the trees go in the ground? That's the next question, because I do it at a very slow rate, but you guys managed to get 5,000, 7,000 trees over the space of 2 days or something like that. It was unbelievable. I actually have time lapse off the trees going in, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. We work with some incredible contractors, so we try and source local as much as possible. So we're getting our trees local, and then obviously we then try and get our contractors that live local. They know the land, and usually they know the landholders.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do our site prep where we need, and then they'll get in there, and depending on the site, it's either it's all hand planted, but whether it's potty pookies or sometimes we drill and put the trees in as well, depending on how hard the ground is.
Yeah, and I think this has really pushed them with some of those steep slopes.
Yeah.
It's goat country out there.
It definitely is.
The second part of that, other than getting the trees in the ground, is funding those trees, and you touched on it with Porterhouse.
Yeah, Portland House.
Portland House, sorry, and then IGA and Officeworks and so on.
Yeah.
Do you get funding elsewhere, or how does that sort of model work with Greening Australia?
Yeah, so we have a range of different funding. So we have corporate partnerships like Officeworks and IGA, who'll fund projects nationally. So these projects are part of a national, bigger project, and then we get small parts of that into each state. And then we also have philanthropic, we have donors, we have government funding as well. So we have a range of different sources to try and help, do what we want to do out on the land.
The funding and the funding model, and if people want to donate, how do they do that? Do they go to the Greening Australia website?
Yeah, the website's probably the first port of call. Yeah, so we have all the details on the website, but you can also look at all some of the projects that we do, and that's state by state as well. So you can have a bit of a look at what's going on, and have a look at the team. And yeah, the website's probably the first port of call.
Fantastic. Now, you came out here first in 2022 and did the first tranche along the river here.
Yeah.
And then you've come back in 2024. What kept you coming back? And I'm actually quite excited for this answer. And do you intend to come back with, the whole Johanna Project and what we're doing here? Was that a motivation, or how does that sort of work, how you decide where you go planting? And why you've kept coming back here, I guess.
I think there's a couple of things with that. One, I feel like we had unfinished business. So we did all this wonderful work on the river, and we were still working on that. So we're still doing a lot of maintenance and some infill planting, and working with yourself and Liz to sort of get that going. But then also when we were out walking around, we noticed a lot of landslips and some of that work that needed to happen up on the slopes a little bit more. And it just looks, it's going to create a nice connection. So you have all this river that then backs up into that forest, but you're also then now starting to connect some of that up into your hillside. So I just think it's a really nice picture.
Yeah. And we're not finished yet.
I'm not finished yet. Yeah.
So eventually we'll get there, but it's quite a few years sort of project. But wow, this wind's really picked up, and there'll be some cockatoos flying over now, making a bit of noise. And, there they go. They're actually quieter than normal.
They're not too bad. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming down. I hope we continue this sort of relationship and partnership and support that Greening Australia's given. And we'll bring you more, I guess, images and videos and so on of planting that we're doing around here. So thank you for your time today, and I guess we'll see you again soon.
No worries. Yeah.